Okay, welcome everybody. Today we are going to study present perfect tense. Present perfect tense is very similar to the past tense, but the difference between them is that past tense shows a finished action in the finished action or finished situation in the past, but present perfect shows an action finished right now. Or sometimes we use it for the finished action right now. Sometimes we use it for our experience, and sometimes we use it for an action started in the past and finished about these times, but we don't want to give any time, or for an action resulted in the present, resulted in the present. For example, if you start with the form or the pattern of this tense is we use have with some pronouns, and we use has with some pronouns. For example, I, you, we, they. With these four pronouns, we use have, but with he and she and it, we use has. So the pattern is like this: I have worked, or I have left. And as you see here, the verb is in the third form. We use the third form, past participle form of present of the verb, past participle form of the verb for present perfect tense. In the negative form, actually, there is only not added to the auxiliary verb, have and has, and there is no change in the form of the verb. For the question again, we take the auxiliary verb, helping verb at the beginning of the subject, and again, there is no change with the verb form. So, if we go on with the use, this means kullanım or usage, use, yes, for the states that started in the past and continue in the present. Geçmişte başlamış ve bugüne kadar devam etmiş bir durumu anlatıyor. For example, it says, we have lived in this house for 10 years. We have lived in this house for 10 years. This means that 10 years ago, we started to live in this house. And we lived for 10 years. It is now 10 years, and we are still in this house. But at this particular moment, it is 10 years. So the finish time here is 10 years. So we call it, we say it with present perfect tense, because the situation started in the past and it came up to the present. And at this last moment, or at this last second, it is 10 years. 10 years finished. So we use present perfect tense. We have lived in this house for 10 years. Actually, we are still living in this house. But now, at this moment, it is 10 years that we lived in this house. So we say, we have lived in this house for 10 years. In other words, sometimes we say that there is a present result. Present result means something seen that that the situation is still going on. For example, here in this sentence, the person started to live in this house 10 years ago, and he is still living in this house. He didn't leave this house, and he's still in that house. And the result is he is still living in that house. So it is when there's a present result, we use present perfect tense. We have lived in this house for 10 years. Secondly, for actions that happened in the past, think about an action, think about an event that happened in the past, occurred in the past, without a reference. This means that no time is given to when they happen. I bought a new pair of shoes. Yes, maybe I bought 2 days ago. Maybe I bought 2 years ago. Maybe I bought 2 weeks ago. But I don't say any time. I don't give any time. That's why I can use this sentence with present perfect tense. Because I have the shoes. I still have those shoes with me. Again, there's a present result at the same time. I have bought a new pair of shoes. I don't give time. This is an experience for me. So I can use present perfect tense. I use have had and verb 3 form. Thirdly, for experiences. Yes, for example, Tim has traveled by plane once. Here, Tim tells about his experience. Again, he doesn't give any time. When we talk about our experience, pieces of experience, then we use present perfect tense. For the past actions with results in the present. Geçmişte bir olay olacak. Yes, a past action with results in the present. As I said, there will be a result. There will be an end at present. For example, Liam's broken his arm and now he can't write. This means Liam has broken his arm and now he can't write. The result here is he can't write. I can see the Liam that I can see Liam's arm and his arm has got a bandage on it. So I can see that the situation is still going on. So there is a present result. He didn't recover. He's still ill. He's still injured. He still has got a bandage on his arm. So we can use this sentence. We can say the situation with present perfect tense. Liam has broken his arm because I can see that he's still having a bandage on his arm. Of course, as in the other tenses, we have some special expressions with some special expressions used with this tense. One of them is for, since, the other one is since, and at the same time never, ever, yet, just, already, so far, how long, once, twice, etc. These expressions are used very common with present perfect tense, but we are going to stress on the usage of these expressions later. Another important thing is that here we use the third form of a verb. So we have to memorize the past participle forms of verbs. You know, some verbs are regular verbs, some of them are irregular verbs. So if we memorize the irregular verbs, like for example here, buy, both. But if there is a regular verb like live, for example, you know, here we only add an ed form to the regular verb, but When there is an irregular verb, the verb changes into a new form, or sometimes the pronunciation changes into a new form, but the spelling is the same, or there can be similar changes. But we have to memorize the irregular verb list. We have to memorize the past participle forms of the verbs from the irregular verb list. Okay, I'm going to send the irregular verb list to you, and we can study on it the irregular verbs in a detailed form. Okay, when we look at the sentences here, for example, there's only present perfect tense. So this practice is given for you only to learn the pattern very well. Okay, you don't have to decide whether it is past simple or present perfect tense. All of them, all the sentences here are present perfect tense. But we are going to study the regular pattern. We are going to study the pattern of present perfect tense. But the sentences must be meaningful. So please try to make the sentences meaningful. For example, here, in the first sentence, it says, we, blah, blah, attend a lot of educational seminars this year. So attend means join, you know, attend, join. In other words, in Turkish, katılmak, yes. We attend. Here we must say katıldık or katılmadık. Imagine that we want to make a positive sentence. So let's try to do it in positive. We use have with be, as you know, as an auxiliary verb. We have attended a lot of educational seminars this year. We have attended, yes, we have attended a lot of educational seminars this year. Yes. Okay. Second, let's look at the second sentence. They, blah, blah, already planned their holidays. Yes, we use have with they again. So we say they have already planned and they have already planned their holidays. So as you see from the sentence, you can make some rules from the sentences in English. Yes, as you see, already is used between the auxiliary verb and the main verb, and the meaning is çoktan in Turkish. Çoktan planladılar. Çoktan yaptılar. Yes, they have already planned their holidays. They have already planned their holidays. Tatillerini çoktan planladılar. Yes. Third one. Here, there's a question. So, your homework yet. Yet here, as you see, is used at the end of the sentence. And it is used with question and negative forms. Yet, we can use yet only with question and negative sentences. Here, it is used with the question form. So, if there's a question and the pronoun is used, so we use have first. So the auxiliary verb, the helping verb is have. Then there will come the pronoun, the subject. Have you And the third form of finish, what is the third form of finish? This is a regular verb, so it will take an ed form. Have you have you finished your homework yet? Have you finished your homework yet? Ödevini bitirdin mi? Ödevini henüz bitirmedin mi? For example, in Turkish, actually, we say this sentence in negative form. Ödevini hala bitirmedin mi? But in English, you can say it in positive form. Have you finished your homework yet? Have you finished your homework yet? We can ask in the negative form as well. For example, we can say, haven't you finished your homework yet? Haven't you finished your homework yet? Hala ödevini bitirmedin mi? This is actually, it is the same with Turkish. But in English, we don't have to use not here. We can make the sentence positive, but meaning can be the same. So let's go on with 4. Joe, blah, blah, try Asian food twice. Asian food twice. Twice means, you know, 2 kez. So Asian, Asya, and try, denemek. So we will say Joe. Joe is the third person singular. In other words, this means he. So Joe has, yes. You know, for the verbs like this, we dismiss Y and we put an I instead of Y and we added ED. Okay, so we write like this. Yes. Joe has tried Asian food twice. Joe Asya yemeğini iki kez denedi. Okay, let's go on with the other sentence. Derek and I, yes. How do you write this sentence? How do you answer to this sentence? Think of it. Think for a moment. Yes, Derek and I. Derek and I is the first person plural. So first person plural is we. This Derek and I means we. So Derek and I haven't written the email yet. The email yet. Here written is the third form of write. Okay, let's go on with the exercise 6. Alice never take French classes. Never, again, is an adverb used between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. So we are going to use it before after have has and before the verb. So what is the third form of take? Take is an irregular verb, so it is take, to, taken. The third form is taken. So let's do the exercise together. Alice, and you know, when we use never, the sentence is positive, but the meaning is negative. So we have to use a positive sentence. Alice has never taken French classes. Hiç Fransızca dersine girmedi. Alice hiç Fransızca dersine girmedi. 7. Mom, just again is used like never and already. It is between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. Mom just bake chocolate cookies. Bake is a regular verb, so it takes an ed, but you know, when there's an e at the end, we only add d. So let's write the sentence. Mom has just baked chocolate cookies. Mom has just baked chocolate cookies. So what does it mean? Annem çikolatalı kurabiyeleri yeni pişirdi. Fırında yeni pişirdi. Okay, let's go with the eighth one. Bob ever visit? Bob ever visit the Natural History Museum? So as you see, there's a question. Ever is used with the question forms, and it means hiç in Turkish. So since it is a question form, we are going to start with have or has. So the subject is Bob, so it is third person singular. So we are going to use has. Has Bob ever visited? Has Bob ever visited the Natural History Museum? Bob Doğa Tarihi Müzesi'ni hiç ziyaret etti mi? Yes. And the last sentence is, we blah blah not prepare. So the sentence is negative. Our suitcases for the trip yet. Again, we are using yet. As we said, yet is used with question, and negative forms, you know. So here it is, the sentence is negative. We use have with we, so we are going to write have, yes, have not, or haven't. We can write the shortened form, haven't prepared. Prepare means hazırlamak in Turkish. Prepared, we haven't prepared our suitcases for the trip yet. We haven't prepared our suitcases for the trip yet. Here we, yes, okay, that's right. It is the question form. Yes. Okay. As you see, all the sentences are correct, and we have practiced present perfect tense. When we want to say a sentence with present perfect tense, we use have or has, and then we use the verb tree form of the verb tree form. And if we want to make a negative sentence, we add a not to the auxiliary verb. And if we want to make a question, we put the auxiliary verb at the beginning. Here and here, for example, they are question sentences. Auxiliary verb, it comes to the beginning. So yes. Here again, there are some extra sentences. Write sentences about what you have or haven't done so far today. Use the present perfect simple with the already, yet, and phrases given. Yes, already and yet. You are going to use either already or yet in the sentences and write it according to yourself. Okay. For example, here there's an example. Have and lunch. I have already had lunch. Çoktan öğle yemeğimi yedim. I haven't had lunch yet. Henüz öğle yemeğimi yemedim. And similarly, you can do the other expressions. You can use other expressions in the present perfect tense for yourself. This is the homework for you. Here, please pause your video and write the sentences, write these 5 sentences into your notebook, and please take a photo of it and send back to me. This is a homework for you. Yes, this 4th part is a homework for you. Please write 5 sentences in present perfect tense as in the example and send to me. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you again. Bye.